You know how some folks seem to push their boundaries, while others just can't seem to get out of the excuse zone? Well, it's all about one thing: dedication. Think of it like the gas in your car. Keeps you moving forward, right? It's like that unshakable boat sailing through a wild storm, always pushing to get to the safe harbor. It's not just about being stubborn and sticking to it, it's a mindset. Imagine choosing to keep moving forward no matter what life throws at you. Dedication is like a superpower. It changes lives, makes dreams come true, and turns those impossible tasks into a cakewalk. So next time you're stuck, just think about how powerful dedication can be. It's like a secret key that opens up a world where nothing is impossible. What about the individuals who always seem to pull an excuse out of thin air? Let's break this down, shall we? You've heard the classics, haven't you? I simply don't have time. I lack the necessary skills. Or how about this one? The timing is just off. These are self-imposed barriers, morphing gradually into insurmountable peaks, obstructing the path to triumph. Let's be honest, anyone can into this excuse pit. It operates like an insidious mental virus, coaxing us into a perpetual state of stagnation. It's a deceptive foe, quietly stealing away our dreams, our potential, and ultimately our happiness. But remember this: these are not truths, merely self-erected hurdles, the offspring of our own insecurities and apprehensions. The way to overcome them, it's all about recognizing them for what they truly represent: excuses. Excuses are nothing self-crafted obstacles, created to shackle us from discovering our true potential. Let me tell you about this guy, John. Quite the character. He used to be a champ in making excuses, but ended up becoming a rock-solid symbol of determination. Imagine your everyday guy, living a regular Joe life, but there's a catch. He was always stuck in this vortex of can't-dos and what-ifs. John was his own worst enemy, blaming everything else but himself for not getting where he wanted. You know the drill, right? Then, one day, something just clicked. He was fed up with his own "I can't" stories, just done with feeling like he was on a treadmill, running but going nowhere. He came to a realization that life was passing him by, and he was the only one who could steer it in a different direction. So, he did something that changed everything. He swapped his excuses with this unshakable resolve. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies. There were hurdles, there were stumbling blocks, but John, he was like a bulldog, wouldn't let go. He turned his "I can't" into "watch me," his "I won't" into "just try and stop me." He faced his fears with guts, swapped his doubts out for determination. John's resolve, man, it was like a freight train. Nothing could stand in its way. Suddenly, every morning was a new opportunity, every challenge a stepping stone. He was all in, dedicated to his dreams, and would let nothing, and I mean nothing, block his path. His dedication was like a flame that wouldn't flicker, not even in the face of a storm. And you know what? Things started to change. He started crossing off goals one after the other. He started living the life he always wanted, not one where he felt stuck. He was no longer the guy who blamed circumstances, but the one who shaped his own destiny. He swapped being the guy with excuses for the guy who means business. John's story, it's like a shout-out to the sheer power of dedication. It shows how anyone can break out of the excuse rut and scale heights you wouldn't believe. It's a nudge, a reminder that excuses are nothing more than self-made obstacles, and dedication is your ticket to freedom. It's a story that reminds us that we're the ones in the driver's seat of our life, and it's up to us to make it one hell of a ride. So, you're thinking, how can we follow John's lead, ditch the excuses, and stay devoted? Well, let's break it down. First up, you've got to know what you're aiming for. It's all about clarity. When you know where you want to go, it's easier to stay the course. Then, there's your attitude, It's so easy to start doubting yourself and thinking negative. But hey, every time life knocks you down, it's another chance to bounce back up. Staying positive is like fuel for your grit and resilience, both of which you'll need to tackle challenges head on. And then, there's persistence. It's not just about getting back up after a fall, but about pushing through, even when times get rough. Persistence means you keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter what. At the end of the day, it's all the choices we make. We can either find reasons not to do something or take steps towards success. Remember, even the longest journey starts with a single step. So why not take that step today? You know what's cool? We've all got that power to change, to step away from the habit of making excuses and to really lean into commitment. It's a bit like a journey, right? So today we've taken a little trip, started off by chatting about that incredible force of dedication. It's like rocket fuel to help us reach those crazy heights, even when the odds are stacked against us. But then we talked about that sneaky thing, the excuse epidemic. It's crafty, isn't it? Sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it, making excuses, and it can really keep us from being our best selves. But hey, we've also talked about Some pretty amazing comebacks, where people just wouldn't quit. Man, those are some seriously inspiring stories, right? And shared some nifty ways to break those chains of excuses to help you tap into that game-changing power of dedication. Now, we know the road to success can be a bit bumpy, but hey, dedication is that engine that keeps us moving, that keeps us pushing when the going gets tough. So, did you find this chat helpful? If you did, just hit that subscribe button. We're all heading towards a life where we're more committed and less excuse-prone. Now, how cool is that? Is